Greetings. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good morrow. It's wonderful to have you all here. Very grateful for everyone's presence. It's wonderful delight to share this time with you. As always, we have a special presentation this evening. We have two classes, of course, but we're going to start with a presentation by Dr. Stanley Chen, who, if I'm to understand correctly, Stanley, you're going to lead this class in Chinese. Is that true? Yes, wonderful. So, English speakers who understand no Chinese, myself included, we owe them for all of the translation that they've had to sit through. We owe them big time. And so I will gleefully, and I invite you all to please go to the English interpretation channel. So at the bottom of your Zoom screen, hopefully it's obvious to you. You can find interpretation channels, choose the English channel, and then kindly one of our extraordinary translators will be translating live, and you can have a taste of the experience that all of our extraordinary friends from around the world are used to having. And Stanley, I want to thank you for doing this tonight. I'm very excited about it. I think it's extremely cool.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. All you, please take it away. Thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna transform myself to a Chinese self, starting from now. Okay, 好，大家早。
Good morning.
So again, if you need the beautiful service of English translation and other languages, please go to other channels accordingly. 好，欢迎来到各位早啊，现在是
Good morning.
中国时间北京时间的
This is
早上
morning time, 7 in Beijing, China time.
来参加混合
To be able to get up so early and take part in Xuanzang Tower class, you already is a nut.
两层意思，一个就是坚果的意思。
In English, the word nuts has two meanings. One is the nuts that you eat, another is a bookworm
古老的经典
or nerd, meaning you are really having a special passion in the ancient text, making you able to get up so early to take part in the Xuanzang Tower class. And thank you for your time. Today, I feel very special and honored to use my mother tongue, Chinese, to share with you the class today.
那我先简单的介绍一下今天要
I will first briefly introduce the text that will be continue learning.
OK。好，我先做一个简单的介绍。
I will first give a brief introduction.
哦，顺便一提啊，我知道今天早上因为我们没
By
有
the
来得
way,
及尽早能够通知很多讲中文的
I
朋友
know that we have not taken enough time to notify our Chinese audience that we will take this class in Chinese. So I believe you have a good surprise. I hope it is not a bad surprise. And so if you have more people wanting to come and try to experience a Xuanzang Tower class in pure Chinese, it is a good chance today that you can invite them. And we are trying to do this experience to see that in the future, we will evaluate whether we will continue in this format. And if it is good, we will continue in this format in the future. So if you know some friends who don't know about the situation of our class today, you can invite them and they can join in the middle of class. when they come here, when they enter, maybe the sentence that they catch has a special meaning or message for them.
好，那首先跟大家做一
First,
个简单的介绍跟
I will give a brief introduction and review of our text. Very unfortunately, because our class is in Chinese, we don't have assignments. So poor you, you don't have an assignment. So we will go into our class directly. And I believe a lot of you are very want to do the assignment for Xuanzang Tower, but no worries, because we have Adam for the next class, so you will have exciting assignment for the next class. So the name of my book is 论是的意思 the Abhidharma Samuchaya, and Samuchaya is a compendium. Normally, when you look at the title, you can, when you look at the words used in the title, you can see a lot of meanings inside. So today we will have a taste of the title of the book, and we will talk about it and talk about the origin of the book. We started learning this book about 1 year ago. We are learning it together at the same time when we are translating it. Why did we choose this book? Where does it come from? We will talk about it. First, we will talk about the name, title. The full name is Abhidharma Samuchaya. And the 论 in the Chinese title is a commentary. I would like to give you a quiz. Whether you know enough about ancient texts. For the character 论 in Chinese, can you find another character or word to replace it? Because I just mentioned that you can categorize the text, ancient text, into sutra or commentary. Sutra is by the Buddha, the words by the Buddha, and for commentary, commentary means it is written by some wisdom in future times that comments on the sutra, and these are commentaries. In the three baskets, the Jing, Sutra, Lü, Vinaya, and Lun is another different categories. Those three are another categories. For example, in those three, in the three baskets, Jing is about meditation, Lü is about Vinaya, and Lun is about emptiness. But in here, this commentary Lun is not about that commentary. It is about the comment directly corresponding to the sutra.
多多讲的那个才是梳，不是梳头的梳，梳理的梳，是不一样的。
There's another word in Chinese, 梳, which sounds similar to combing your hair, but it's not the same character. There are a little bit different strokes. The word 书 also represents commentary. In Chinese, we can use a lot of words or characters to mean the same thing. So 书, this word is like this. What Luo Han is saying in the chat room means combing the hair, but this is not the same word here. Do you know there is a very famous Shu commentary? Do you know which one? It's about mind only.
Yeah.
It's the commentary to what I really meant. You can see that this is a very good representation of how a commentary corresponds to a certain sutra, because there's the commentary to the what I really meant the first few characters is the name of the sutra, and the last word "shu" means that it's the commentary of that sutra. Someone said that Katie is doing a good translation. I think it's the first time that foreign people finally understand what a translator is speaking. So meaning that translators are really important, because normally when we have to listen to translation, normally foreign people get lost. So maybe this is a very good experience for you. And also, again, on the different meanings of the words "lun," "shu," and "shi." Shi is the same word for explanation, like Lama, Choni Lama, he has a commentary to Diamond Cutter Sutra, the sunlight. So this word "shi," which means explanation, means the same. It is explaining a certain topic. So when we talk about, for example, Dao De Jing, when we talk about such Jing like Dao De Jing, we cannot categorize it into what we mean as sutra. So because a word can mean so many meanings, so I think you can try to understand more about different meanings of a certain word, which can help you with your understanding of the text. For Western people, you don't have this problem, because normally one word means one meaning. And for Chinese-speaking people, we have to really try to understand each word, so that we can understand the wisdom. And for the word "zi" in Samuchaya, in English, we translate it as compendium. And in Sanskrit, it's Samuchaya.
Okay, anyway,
I forgot some important thing. I think because it's too early for me. So "zi" is you put together something, but what did we put together? It's the topic before that, which means Abhidharma. This word Abhidharma, I give you a quiz. In Tibetan, it is kundu. And for this word Abhidharma, I ask you something interesting. Can you break it down and tell me what's the meaning of A and what is the meaning of B? What's the meaning of Da and what is the meaning of Mo? Because for the word Mahayana, Dacheng, or the proper pronunciation should be Dasheng, we also try to break it down. For Abhidharma, may I ask you, how do we break it down? What's the meaning of A, B, Da, and Mo? Can it be broken down? Someone say that A is big. Very interesting is it can be broken down, or you can say it cannot be broken down. Why? Because we can break it down, but not in terms of Chinese characters. Because it is translation of the pronunciation of the Sanskrit. So you cannot break it down according to the Chinese wordings, because in Sanskrit, if you want to break it down, you have to break it into two parts. One is Abhi, one is Tama. Abhi plus Tama. So according to the word, if you break it down, you have to break it down into Abhi and Tama. Abhi is going upwards. Tama means phenomenon. You may know the Master Dharma in Chinese, who is the person who brought the Zen lineage into China. You may know a place, an institute, Dharma Institute, which is set up by the founder of Alibaba. So Dharma means phenomenon or method or wisdom. Here, if you put Abhidharma together, it means wisdom that's a higher place. After you learn this wisdom, you can get into a higher state. So this means Abhidharma. In Chinese, sometimes we call it 商法, upwards Dharma. This Dharma is wisdom. Or we also translate it into 对法, meaning corresponding Dharma. It's just like Xuanzang Tower. If you can stay here, just sit here, you will go upwards and upwards. So I always stick to you have to translate. This was very important because I always tell the other translators that what you are doing is Abhidharma because it's higher knowledge, bringing you to a higher place. So please don't look down on us, Abhidharma. I have to make sure all the people, Ben and Adam, have got my message.
Okay. Okay. Yay. Translation perfect.
Yay. And something interesting is we have put two words 大乘 before the name, in the front of the name, which means Mahayana. So this differentiates in the kosha that we learned before. The Abhidharma kosha is written by Master Vasubandhu, and this Mahayana Abhidharma Samuchaya is written by Master Asanga. In the Chinese name, it mentions about Mahayana. It's very interesting. So today we will talk about a very important topic about this book, which I also think is the most important one. That is the 5 heaps. Or I can say it's one of the most important topics, the 5 heaps. And today you will find that the perspective about the 5 heaps of the Mahayana is different from the Hinayana. If we are lucky enough to be there where we are going to, then we will see how Mahayana looks at the 5 parts of a body, of a person, the 5 heaps, how the Mahayana's explanation is different from Master Vasubandhu's explanation about the 5 heaps. Then you can have a feeling about the topic. I will first leave it like this, but this is a very important topic. Before we have been doing the translation of a Hinayana version of the Abhidharma. Starting this year, we enter into the Mahayana. And in this process, I can see a lot of, they are using the same words, but they are presenting different meaning and different goals for you to give you a different experience and results, but they actually are the same words. So only on this I find very interesting because it is both the words of Gautama to Mr. Gautama 2,500 years ago. The word Xuanzang is very difficult to translate because it can mean Mr. or gentleman. So I will let you do the translation of Mr. Gautama. Why do we choose this book? Because it's some reason, there's some cause, there's some special condition and reason. That's 1 year ago. I started to work on some proposal on the Xuanzang project. And during the time when I was preparing for the Xuanzang project, I came into this book. So it's a very lucky thing. And actually, we haven't finished the translation of the previous book, and we jumped into this book directly. So we jumped from Hinayana into Mayan.
然后接下来我会
And next,
开始去跟大家一起进入到书籍本身了。
I will start talking about the book with you all.
Okay, let me see. 好，再次一提，如果你有朋友想要来了解玄奘塔，
May
尤其
I
是纯
remind you, if you have friends who want to learn about Xuanzang Tower, and if you find that it can help them a lot to listen to Chinese, I can invite them to come to our public class today. And here at this point of time, if you are an MC or a host, a program host, you know it's time to make an advertisement. So now going back to the topic, I'm not looking at the Master Asanga version of the Abhidharma Samshaya with you. Can you see that this author is not the same? Can you see that the title is a little bit different? This is by Stiramati. Can you see that the Chinese title of the book has a little bit difference? Yes, there is one extra character in this title. The original title is 八成阿毗达摩集论, but here there is one extra character, 八成阿毗达摩杂集论. And it is very interesting to have an extra wording here. This word means like a lot of messy stuff.
然后这里这个玄奘大师也很有意思，他
And
写
here,
这个给作者署名的时候，翻译作者名的时候，他写了一个安慧菩萨柔。
when he tried to explain this book,
或者是是啊之类的，
like this version translated by Master Xuanzang, he didn't say that this is written by Stiramati. He said that it is put together by Master Stiramati.
安慧的梵文名 ，by the way， 我叫 Stiramati， 不是Buddhi Stiramati。那个容易查错，对，它叫 Stiramati。然后这个名字在藏文当中会找到很多它的译注的。
Someone may easily confuse Stiramati's name with another name, and here it is said that it is put together by Master Stiramati. So this word 杂 means put together, reconstruct, recombination. This is a very important concept, recombination. For the same things, like a big screen and touch technology, we'll put them together, comes up with this technology of our mobile phone. So you recombine two things to give a new innovation. So that is so you can say that the smartphones or iPhone, they are all it is this kind of recombination. Yes. In the very beginning, the birth of an iPhone is also So it's combining Walkman, a function that plays music with other functions. They were put together. So this word is very interesting that it is put together by Master Stiramati.
现在这本书，所以这个如果你仔细去
And
品鉴一下
if
这个
you
名字的话，你会发现
try
这
to
是观世音
understand
菩萨的柔作，
or have a taste
就
of
是
this
他把
book title,
无著大
it
师
is
原文
combined together by
以及他个
Master
人，
Stiramati,
在后来你会
combining
发
the
现他会去其
original
他唯识论
root
述的观
text
点糅合在
and
一起，
his personal views on
所以这个
mind
很有
only.
多重
He
用。
is combining
一个
this
就是
together.
原文它也放在里头了，无著大师原文它很巧妙的揉在里面，
So he
所以你要
he
找到
has
原文是什么，
put in a lot
它的注释
of
是什么，
effort
必
of
须要去
the original text
自
of
己的
Master
学会去
Asanga,
辨别拆分的，这不容
but
易。
you have
有
to
的时候你
really
都不知道现在
find
它
out
这
for
句话是无
yourself
著讲的，
which
你
part
还
is
会
the
掉，
original
因为它把它
wordings
揉
of
在一
Master
起了。
Asanga or
然后另外一
which
个揉就
part
是当
is
时
the
那个时代
viewpoints
有
of
很多
Master
的
Stiramati.
唯识的
And another
认识
meaning
或
for
者是
this
观点，它是不同的观点。
combination
就
is
莲花
because
戒大
at
师本
those
身就
times
是，如果我们
there
了
was
解
a lot of
就是其
ideas
中一
of
位大唯识
mind
论
only,
师，包括陈纳论师
including
Adam 老师的英雄
Master Dignaga,
陈纳论师
the
是一
hero
种
of
唯识，
Adam.
对，所
He
以
is he also talked about
他揉的意思
mind
就是
only.
把很多的观点揉在一
So
起，
this
组合了。
com
坦诚来
the
讲，
this
格西
meaning
老
of
师就是
combination is
大师。
putting all
从这个
those
角度
with
来讲，你看
all
他
those
写的
ideas
DCI 的课
together.
就知道了 DCI
When
的
you
手
look at
册
the
就
DCI
知道
manuals
怎么
of
写的，他就把很多的有用的
Geshe
观点重组，
he puts
然后有一个
a
创
lot of the
创作。
different ideas together and reconstruct them
哪一
and
天你如果真的
innovate them into a
通达
new
一些
idea, new
混
menu.
合坚果，
So one
这
day,
样谈，
if you
再去
really
看老师的 DCI，
master
你就会觉得
some
DCI 心生
content
敬
of
佩，
Xuanzang Tower,
觉得
and
你
when you look
会
back
有
at
一
the
个对
DCI
DCI 的
content,
内容或者其
you
他老
will
师的
feel
商
amazed
业
that
呃
actually
容易误
the
解的，就是觉得哦，这个不是
because someone may
不是
misunderstand
最
that
高的
the
智慧，
information in
它是讲给
DCIG
类
is
似
not the
文
highest
章派
wisdom
的
of the
人，
ancient masters.
就这么理解本身就
No,
对
because
玄奘
it
有
is
个误
actually
误
written
解来
by
看，
those
所以
people
让
who
DCI
cannot
很多
understand
的
Xuanzang
重
Tower
要
yet.
的
So
老师的
in
创作，老
DCI,
师的杂
there
论，
is a lot of creation,
这
or
不
you
是
can
法
say a
就是
lot of
玄
杂
奘他
combination
的
of
书
Geshe Michael,
糅合进去了，揉进去了，
meaning putting
把
together
揉进去了。
and
所以我
mixing
个人
together,
推荐
combining
的
together the
自己去尝试去坚守
wisdom
去
into
学
the
的东西
text.
就是全学，
For myself,
全部都学，
I
不
have
是玄学，
insisted
全学。
on the way of learning that I want to learn everything. I
现在
learn
的
from
美
different
味蛋
angles.
糕，从不同
For
角
a
度咬
same
进去
piece
都是
of
很美味的，
cake,
咬到最后都是同一口
however,
蛋糕。
no matter how you
所以
try
这
to
个就
eat
是
it,
这本
it's
书的书名的意思。
also tasty.
好，
So
接下来我
the
们进入
meaning
到
of
书
the
中的
title is
原
as
文的内
above.
容。
And now we will go into the text.
这个四句记啊，这一段四句记就是你
In
看在
this
原文当中梵文当中，
verse,
这个叫一个记，
you
完
can
全有四句。
see, if it
但
is
是我
in
不知道它分
Sanskrit,
四
we
句还
say
是
it
分八句。如果是按
a
照八句的
verse
话，这有
because
两
there
个
are
句。
4 lines.
是原文当中一
I
个
don't
记构
know
成
whether
的
I should
四
say it
句，
as 4 lines or 8 lines,
四行
but
的，
for
有
a
点像
verse,
唐诗
they
一
are
样，
all
四
they
行
are
诗之类的，
4
啊，
lines, a little bit like the Chinese
有点像
tongue
唐诗
poem.
那种分类，五言啊、七言啊等等。然后这里的四句记，如果是按
It's a
四句
little
记
bit
来
like
分的
the
话，这里就分为两
formats
个
of
句子。
Chinese
那这
poems.
两个句子呢，
So if you
其实
if
就
you
是我
look
们
at
前段时间
the
大家还记得吗？我们
verses,
讲了很
Sanskrit
多很
verses,
多
there
关
are
于
2 verses here.
这本
If you
书的
remember,
框架的问题。
we talked about a lot of the framework of this book.
来讲这本书的框架，
We
这9个
talked
点
about
已经很
9
这
points.
这个
We
基
used
础了。
9 points
是
to
无著大师在
cover all the
正文前
framework of this book.
所做
And
的
before getting into the body of the
summarize
text,
verses， 我
Master
忘记了
Asanga
怎么念了，中国西部的
summarized the verses.
有一个词，
I don't remember the Tibetan.
看大家记不记得，就是这一类的寄送总结
There
的
is a
寄送，
term,
然后这里面就包含了
but
整一本书无助大师想
here
要讲的内容。
in these verses, it already covers all the contents that Master Asanga is
然后
going
在
to
后
talk
面
about.
4句
And
后面的
later
4
on,
句里面，大家可以
after
看看
those
结
four
合因取向
after those
建立于
verse,
次第
after that
意
verse,
欲广分别
you can look at
几种
this
颂
part
音。
highlighted.
你看这里就叫几种颂，这个总
Here
颂
it
能够
mentions
包含了书中所有的
that
要点，叫
this
几种颂。
verse is
对对对对
summarizing all the
Yes,
important
谢谢 Ben
points
然后讲了怎么按几
of
个
the
方式去
text,
讲呢？几
and it is
和音
explaining it in different ways,
像，这每个字都有意思的。建立次第
like
这翻译要看
stages,
意广
meaning, metaphor, broad,
具
differentiation.
体还
There are a lot of ways.
还好还在互动
It's our translator
所以
still
这个
okay.
我们就不讲了。但是呢，
We will we will
这
not
里
go
讲的
deep
是什么？
into
无
it.
助大
But
师
here,
即
what
将
is
要
it is
开
saying
始
is
对
Master Asanga is
五蕴
going to
等
start to talk about
分类
five heaps.
来做
Five heaps
辨别，
is
来做
the
解释。
categorization. So he is going to start to
分为
explain
几
about the
何
five
音角色
heaps.
用9个不同的方式，
And
是
it
各个
will
五蕴当
he
中
will use 9
有几个
methods
蕴
to do it.
五
Why, for example, in five heaps, how
和
many
那为
heaps
什么
are
是
there?
为什
Five.
么是五蕴？
Is why. And why?
那
Why
每个
five
蕴
heaps?
背后的对应的成因又是什么？因等等。
There is the
所以它接下来我
corresponding
们要
cause
对
behind
这些
each
内
heap
容
and what
做
is
更深
that?
入的解释。
So next,
但
we
是
will go
在
deep
此
into
之
the
前，书
explanation
中
of
做了一个
this
广告，
content.
这是我们上次讲的
But
内容。
before this,
我们
in
先
the
看一
book,
下，
he made an advertisement.
这个是无
Let
助
us
大师的
take a
原
look
文，
at it.
我还记得。这里
This
讲到
is
说
the
何故端，何
root
故
text
论
of
端
Master
先
Asanga.
辨论，先
It
辨
is
蕴。
asking,
这个论
why
端
do
就是
you
说
talk
何
about,
故那个
why
无
do you
助大师
debate
那个
about heaps in the very beginning of the commentary?
这是不要忘记是安
of the
慧对
text.
无助的解释，所以他当他提到论端的时候，
Don't
他指的是
forget
无助
this is the explanation of Stiramati to
无助
Asanga. So
先辩
here
论蕴，
it is
先
talking
辩蕴 等
about
等。
the
为什么要先去
content
拆
of
解，先走
Asanga.
蕴？
Why do you first
接
debate
下来我们要进
or
入到大家
explain
还
about
记得的
heaps?
话，要进入到一个 kappa 的
And
话
next,
题。
if you
我
still
们
remember,
master
we will go
我
into
们前
the
段时间讲了很多这个
kappa,
话题。
becoming a
后来
master.
它
We
是
talked
叫
a lot
德
about
善巧，这个
kappa,
kappa 在中
how
文当中叫善巧，
how to have skillful means
就通常
kappa. In
掌握了
Chinese, kappa means
你成为
skillful
善巧
means,
者了，
or you
你
master
kappa。
something. You become a
嗯
master, so you kappa.
为什么要先讲五蕴呢？欲令学者于
Why
几
do we
何
first talk about
因
five
等
heaps?
诸思则处得善巧故。先看后面得善巧故，这个得善
We
巧故就
first
代
look at
表
the
了这个
second
先
half of
讲
the
五蕴的
sentence,
结果，就
which
是学
means
五蕴
the
会得
result
善
of
巧。
learning five heaps. After
我们
you
成为
learn
大
the
师，
five heaps, you will become a master.
谁成为大师？
Who will
欲
become a
令
master?
学者。这
Those
里古文当中的学者
who
跟现代人当中的学者是不一样的哦。
it
我们如果
has
要
the
去，
word scholar in
如
it,
果有
but
时
in the
间的话，
olden times, the
说
word
实话
scholar
这
is
句话
different
可
from
以
the
讲一个
scholar
小时。
nowadays. Only talking on this
但
can
是
take
我们
us
现在
1
没有时
hour.
间讲那么多，
But
我们
since we
就
don't
简
have
单的说一下。
so much time, I will briefly
学者，我很喜
talk
欢
about
这个
it.
词。
For this word,
这里的
学者,
学者
scholar,
不
I
是说
love
你
this
专门
word
在
very
研
much
究，像现代意义
because
上的学
this
者
word
就是
学者, this
专门
word
的研究
scholar
对
is not the
象
same
学
as
问。
today
当然，我们讲到学者
someone
的时候，你会想
research
象的
into
对
a
象是两
certain topic.
两耳不闻窗外事，一心只读
So
圣贤
for
书，
these scholars
楼
today,
下
we
灶火也不顾，
always feel
邻居
feel
叫喊
that they don't
也不
care
慌
about other stuff. They just go
只
deep
做自
into
己
one
的
certain topic
的这种人，
and they
书
only
呆子。
do
在
their
现代
own
说，
work and
但
focus
是在
on
经
their
典里
own
面，学者不是这
thing.
个
They
意思。
are nerd. But in the
学者就是很
ancient
简单，
text,
学习
this
的人
word
叫
scholar
学
has
者。
a different meaning.
学什么？
It means very
学这些
simply
经典。
someone
所以
who
在座的
learns.
每一位
But
都
what
是
are
学
they
者，
learning?
从这个角
They
度。
learn ancient texts.
那
So
如果要成
everyone
为
here
大
from
学
this
者，
point of view, you
就
are
要得
scholar.
善巧了，
But if you want to become a
你就要
master
通达，
scholar, if you want to master
你
the
就要能够
knowledge,
辨别五蕴了。
you have to understand the 5 heaps. Then you can use that in your life. In the ancient text, the word scholar has different meanings. Has a lot of texture. Like when you chew on it, it has a lot of layers in a piece of food. You have to taste the different texture. So for this word scholar, when you see this word, I don't want you to think about another person saying, Geshe, Ben, Gibson, Adam. Those people those translators at Xuanzang Tower don't think that those people are scholars. Actually, for this word "学者" here, you should understand it as a learner, someone who is learning. But I like this term, 学者, also meaning scholar, which can give us a lot of motivation because every one of us can become a scholar, and we are already doing it because we are learning. So whoever is learning in the ancient text is a scholar. And if you, for those real scholars, you will become a yogi or yoga practitioner. And here it is very interesting. How does Master Nagarjuna define a yogi? I remember a joke a long time ago. Someone said that yoga is putting your leg behind your head. It's not like that. Master Nagarjuna said that a yogi or yoga practitioner means someone who can really grasp the core of the ancient wisdom and can put it into practice. The core here means emptiness, cease. Or the emptiness of the 5 heaps, according to this book. Then you become a master scholar, you become a practitioner. To be able to become such a person, we have to learn according to this book and get into the learning. Here, 思则处, meaning you contemplate the objects of your contemplation. When I see this word contemplation, I will think about some sayings in the past that when they, in the past, the people will contemplate things when they are walking, but nowadays we look at our phone when we are walking. So it is a much worse productivity. So like nowadays, when we are walking on the road, we don't do contemplation. We are using the phone. We are looking at the phone. But in the past, the scholars, they use this tool of their brain to do contemplation while they are walking. And what do they contemplate about? This object, this 思则处, the objects of their contemplation. If you can learn well the 5 heaps, then you can get to understand and master this object of contemplation. You will grasp the important content of your worthy object. Not everything is worthy of your contemplation. For example, some cats jumping out from somewhere on TikTok, this is not a worthy object of contemplation. It is just some meaningless thing, worldly meaningless content. Master Dignaga said something. He said that worldly people only like to look at worldly meaningless objects, and they don't like to read my books. So the book that I'm writing is only for myself, not for helping others. And putting this into the perspective of Master Xuanzang, it is meaning that the students of Xuanzang Tower like to look at TikTok instead of coming to Xuanzang Tower class. Meaning a lot of people, most of the people, they like to contemplate on this info content instead they look into look at
所以看到这一
meaningless
段话，我
content.
还是很开心的，就是感觉到
So when I see this phrase, I feel very happy
满满的爱。
because I can feel a lot of love from Master Asanga and Master
所以他
Stiramati.
们写这些书绝对不会成为畅销书的。
They know, meaning they know that writing this book won't get them
Yeah.
to become the
The dog
bestseller
story.
because
I remember
a
that.
lot of people don't like to read.
然后呢，我们能够有幸到你看
But
这
we are
个
still
安慧
so
老师
lucky
是唐朝时候的，也就1400年
to
前。
see Master Stiramati is in the Tang Dynasty. It's about 1,400 years ago. But what he wrote in those times still can be read by me today. So we are really very lucky because this content is not something that most people will read. I believe if Geshe talks more about those commercial courses, we will have many more audience. But why does Geshe now spends most of his time on Xuanzang Tower? Because it is for the learners or the scholars, for those who really yearn to learn this content. So I congratulate you to be able to come into the tower, and I want you to stay in this tower and stay here, don't leave and live here so that you can become someone, become a tower yourself that can help a lot of people.
我的快点也不是特别快，但是我尽量快一点。所以者何？由此善巧能得二种称
I will
赞利
try to
益。
be
所谓
faster.
作义称赞利益，论义抉择称赞利益。有两种，就是如果你来学
There are
习
two
五
types.
蕴等等等等，
If you come to learn
你会得
five
到
heaps
两种主要的利益。
and such, you will
值得
get
称赞的
two
利益。
types of benefits.
OK， 因为善巧，这边一提啊，这里有因果的哈。我
By
当
the
时看
way,
到这个
there are cause and result here.
心一半是欢
When I
喜的，
read
另外一半是凄凉的。
this, half
为什
of
么呢？
my
大家仔
heart
细看看
rejoices,
这
but
里
half
有
of
由
my
此
heart
善
feel
巧
depressed
故
because
应得
when you
两
look
种
at
称
this
赞利益。
phrase in detail,
这两种称赞利益我们后面讲到了，譬如
there
说有
it
舍
mentions
那
about
还
two
有
benefits.
舍那，
For example,
有这个
shamatha and
问答自在，
vipassana, or
对吧？
you feel
很信任，
comfortable and easy
如果
in
大家
giving
记得之
answers.
前的内容
So
的话，
this is
学习五
very
蕴，
attractive.
你能
If you
够在课堂
learn
上讲
five
辩才
heaps,
无碍，这最后一个利益。
you can
前面两个就是那
become
个
a good
shamatha
debater
和
without
那个 vipassana，
obstacle, and you can
这
get
两
into
都能够
shamatha
增
and
长你的冥
vipassana.
想、你的定的功夫，让你的
These
慧
can improve.
智慧
You can
都能够
improve
坚持，
your meditation
而
and
且你还
wisdom.
能够
It can improve in a rocket speed,
无惧任何的提
and
问，
you will not fear any
辩才无
questions.
碍，由此
You
能够
become a
说服
very
别人
good
做出
debater.
好评，做你想
Especially, you can convince your spouse to do whatever you want to do, so you don't have any obstacles.
OK，
This is just a
但
joke.
是
But
但是由此
But
善巧能得二种称赞利益。这句话讲的是什么？
with this
你要先得善巧，
with
这是有
this
因果的，有层次的。
mastering, you can get
第一
to
步
benefits. So
先
you have to
学
first master
自责处，
it. The first step is you
然后
have
就
to
得善巧，
learn the objects
得
of your
善巧后
concentration, then you
才能得
will
二种利益。
become a master.
也就
After
是说，如果
you
你只会
become
一
a
次学习，
master, then you can
我感
gain
觉安慧老师在
these
帮我
two
们宣传做
benefits.
宣传。
So meaning if you
你要真的得到这种利
come
益，
for only once, it doesn't work.
你要
I
真
feel
的得
that
善巧，
meaning if you want to really get these
真的要
benefits, you really have to
要
become
通
a
透开
master.
心，来一次
You
两次，
really have to master the content. It doesn't work if
要
you
来就持
come
续
for
来，
just one or two times. You have to continue
一次
coming
开
back,
始，然后到两次。
but not just
但
once
是如果你
or
能得善
twice.
巧呢，就能得二种利益。
But if you can become a master, you can gain those two benefits.
OK， 然后我们看一下，所以他讲到两种利益的时候，其实是二分为
And
三，
when he mentions about the two benefits, actually there are three benefits.
一个就是善顺增长摄摩他，
One is to
第二个是
enhance
修持
your
毗婆舍那，
samatha, another is the enhance
第
your
三就是
vipassana,
得
and the
这个
third is
抉择
to
论义。 如果你是第一次或者刚开始看这些中文，你又是讲华语的，
understand the
你又第一次看自己熟悉的母语，
commentary.
感觉到
If you
挫败感，
feel
发现每一个字
a
都
failure when you read
加起来
this
就不知道
kind of
他在讲什么。
content the first time and you
但是
find that you
很
know
多时候
each separate word, but putting
看
together
一
you
遍
don't
学
know
习了10
anything,
年了，
don't feel depressed.
发
It's
现
the
到你
same
每
for
次看这
me.
些书都有点
I
感
have
觉，
learned
你把它
these
每
for
一个
10
字
years,
一
but
个
I
字
still
一个
feel
字
the
地看，
same
你都能够
whenever
看
I
懂是
read
什么意思。
this kind of ancient books. You know each word
但
by word,
是
but putting
如果
together
把
you
它
don't
在
know
一起
anything.
揉在一起之后，你就不明白，你感
When
觉它就
you
变成外星 语，
recombine
外星
them
语
together, they
没关
become
系，
some alien
一
language.
点点开始就好了。
It's
我
no problem.
自己
Just
推荐
try
的
bit
学习
by
方
bit.
式就是分而治
How
之，
to learn
很
it
重要。
myself, I
分
recommend
而治
you
之，不
to
要想着一下搞懂
break it
一
down
段话，
and do it
不
bit
要
by
想着
bit.
一下
Don't try
搞懂
to
一句，
understand a whole
不要想着一下搞懂
paragraph in
一个
one
词，
go, or don't try to
先从
understand a sentence in one go,
慢下
and
来，
don't try to understand
一
one
个
word
字的去
in one
琢磨，
go. Try
然
with
后
one
突然
character.
间你就发
Do
现
it slow.
全懂了，这就是学
Try
英语
to
的方式。
understand
就
it
让同学
character
老
by
师
character.
老师一个
And
字一
one
个字
day
地
you
解
will
释，
realize you understand the whole thing. It's just like
然后你自己突
Xuanzang's
然
power.
间你的种子会打开，
Geshe is explaining the text
会
word
把
by
所
word,
有这些
and
部分
one
组
day
合起
you
来，
will suddenly find that your
一句话
seed
就
has
出来了。
opened and you can put
这
together
就
the
跟那
whole
个
thing
那个
and
故事是一样的，
understand the
每个
whole
部分你都
sentence.
看得到。
It's the
有
same
个
as
什么
the
小
pen
路看
story.
到就是一个
You
路的痕
understand
迹。
each
我
part
们现在的
of
目
the
标就是
pen
面对同样的
as a
事情，
pen, but why
我
does
们不是要
the
组成模样玩
dog
具，要组
understand it
成
as
句子。
a chew toy? Now we are trying to
对，
see it
分而
as a
治之，
pen,
这是我
not
自己
a
的
chew toy. So
路径，因为
my
实在是古
own
文功底太差了。
way
曾
to
经
learn this
以前最讨
ancient
厌是那
language,
些
because
语文老
I
师，现在很
am
后悔。
really bad
对不
in
起
this
全老师，
ancient language.
以前很喜欢英文老师，非常讨厌语文老师。
In
现
the
在发
past,
现
I
哎呀
really love my
太
English
可惜
teacher.
了。
I hate Chinese, and now I
如果你是
regret
有
not
志于做
putting
翻
in
译的，
more effort to
你
learn
继续
this
走英语翻
ancient
译。
Chinese.
你
If
会
you
发现，这是我真心话，
want to
后
become
面的
a
翻译
Chinese
是
and
你的
English
朋友，
translator,
不在你的英文那。
sincerely, I tell
后
you,
面翻译的瓶颈或者现在的困
you're
扰，
in the
就是你
future,
的
you
中
will,
文。
in the later stage, you will find
因
that
为格
whether
西
you
老
can
师
do it well as a
对
good
英文是
translator
很
is your
容易懂的，他一直遵循那
is
个
your capability in your Chinese,
物
because
理
as
测试
Geshe
的原
mentioned,
则。
English is a language easy to understand. So
然而
that's why we
你
have
要
the
把它，
server,
所以你听懂英文相对来
waitress
讲是容易的，
text.
尤其是格西老师的英文。
If you can understand English, it's
老师都是不
relatively
擅
easy,
长这种
especially Geshe's
慈
English.
悲，都给我们简化
English,
了。
Geshe has a is
但
very
是你用
compassionate.
中
He
文
has
去
a
看
very
这些经典，
masterful way
那就不容
to
易，相当不容易。
simplify his English. But if you want to
所以你会发
understand
现，
this
要
kind of
想
Chinese,
作为一个
this
翻
is
译有
another
用处的
challenge.
话，
So if you want to become a translator and you want
可
to
能
have
那
a
个
breakthrough,
真正的突破口不在
maybe
英
the
文，
real breakthrough or bottleneck is not with your English.
OK， 好，我们来看一下这3种利益，这个很有意思的。为什么学
Now
习
we will
五
look
韵
into the 3 benefits.
色受想
Why
行
do we
识这
learn
五韵能够
5
增长
hips?
摄摩他呢？
While learning 5 hips can help
我
our
不知道大家有没有去
shamatha.
想这个问题？摄摩他 shamatha，
I don't know
摄摩
whether
他
you
其实
have
就像刚
thought
刚讲
about
的阿
this
毗达摩，
shamatha. This word
是
is just
古
like
代
the
的
word
藏文也好，
Abhidharma.
藏文也好，直接
It's a
音译
an
过来的，不是
ancient
翻译，它是发音。
Sanskrit, a direct
所以不要去猜什么叫摄，什么叫摩，什么叫提，
pronunciation.
这没啥意义。
So don't try to break these 3
把它
characters
当为一个单词
and
来
try
学
to
，shamatha。
understand the meanings.
为什么对你的
Just understand it as one
止功
term,
夫、入
shamatha.
境的功夫
Why does it
有帮
help
助，能够
with your
善顺
quietude,
增长。
your
你看
meditation,
古文很
or
有
your concentration?
很有味道。他怎么说的？这
You
4
can
个字我
see
就很喜欢。
that in
善
the
顺
ancient
增长，
terms,
对你的摄摩他是
these 4
善顺增
characters
长。增长大家固然
is
能够理解，
to
善顺这个词很美的，是善的，又是随顺的，
they are
自然
it's
而然的。
actually these 4 words are very
听
beautiful.
着听着，突
It's
然间发
that
现就
your
定下来，
improvements will be
很
smooth
美的。
and will be easy
啊
and beautiful. So if
为
you
什么呢？
listen
因为
again and
对
again to
诸
the
事
content,
得处一
your
座善
shamatha
所
your
得无一故。譬如说，
will
今天你还要
improve
做一个关于
beautifully,
运的
easily.
空性的冥
For
想，
example,
你要
today
去一
you
一
have to
去
do a meditation on
思维
the emptiness of 5
五蕴
heaps.
之空。
If you want to contemplate on what's the emptiness of the
当你
5
要
heaps,
闭上眼睛，把五蕴请进意识的
when
时
you
候，如果
close
你对
your
五蕴的
eyes
这样的
and invite
以
5
诸善
heaps
巧
into your mind,
已经很熟悉了，没有疑问了，心中不起疑
if
了，
you are
你
familiar
有这个
familiar with
定
the
境，
5 heaps, if you have no
你
doubt
看
on
随
them,
其所乐，于
if
心
you
境自
already
然
have a
观心，
good
就
understanding,
是你自己随其所乐，你自己选择要做任何的一个冥想的对象，对于这个对象，这个
when
境
you
界
make a
正观性
decision of
带
what
动你的意
objects
识
you want to do your meditation with,
冥想，
you invite the
因
objects
此
into
就
your
心就
mind
定了。
and do the
你不会
meditation.
还想说，哎，五蕴还是六蕴来着？
Therefore,
你在冥想当中，
your
还是四蕴？哎，没搞清楚。
decision
哦，五蕴，
or your
哎，五蕴分什么？色、
or
受，
your
哎，
mind
这
is
都怎么来？
already
你就
fixed because you know it's 5
想，
heaps, not
哎，想
not
一想是什
still
么意思？
wondering whether it's 6
因为如
heaps
果你不
or
清楚的话，
what's the meaning?
那
What should I do?
心自然不一定。
So
在
meaning
后
if
面
you
的各种
are
话
not
各种
clear
疑问搞不清
of
楚。
your object,
反
then your
而
mind
如
will
果是
not
你
be
非常熟
stable.
悉
You
的
will have a lot of doubts or uncertainties. But if the
那当然就会
contents
很
is
安
what
定下来。
is what you are very familiar
啊，这
with,
是一
of
个
course
因，
you will
这是安慧大师讲的。
be
那为什么
stable very
会
easily. This
增
is
长
what
毗
Master
毗婆舍那呢？
Dharmati is
毗婆舍
saying.
那也是
And
一个
why does it
因
help
缘，
with our
毗婆
Vipassana?
舍那的
Vipassana is also
智慧的意思，
transliteration, meaning
智慧
wisdom,
的意思，或者叫圣解，
or you
或
can
者
say
叫
it's
圣观，有很多个翻译方式，
insight.
很多个翻译方式。
There are
如
a
果你
lot
是一
of
个真的是一个 mix nut， 你真的
there
是
are
一个
lots
nut，
of
真的是一个，
translations for this term.
你会很喜欢去找同一个词的不同
If
的，
you are really a nuts, you will try to
会有很多
find
帮
all
助，
the
对他理
different
解会有很大的
choices
帮助。
to
老师
translate
喜
a
欢翻译
term,
成
which can
insight，
help you. And
动
Geshe likes to translate it as
为什
insight.
么学习五蕴这样好
While
看、很
learning
基本
5
的内容，
heaps,
一个身体的
a
五大组成
topic
部分，
which
能
seems
够
so basic
提升你的智慧。
can
别忘了是
help
善顺
us
增长，
enhance our wisdom.
善顺
And
增
it's
长，
also to
很美的。
enhance it
为什么呢？
smoothly and
以无量门
easily.
观察一切
Why?
所知境界，速令正会究竟满步。Very very beautiful， 非常非常美的一句话。
This is very beautiful.
以无量门，什么叫无量门？
This is
没有数量的门，数之不尽的门。
countless or limitless doors,
哎，
doors
哪
that
位朋友知道无量门这个
you cannot count. What
不是一句话
What
重
does
复出
this
现很多
mean?
次叫无量门？因为我回音不叫无量门。什么叫无量门？
Echo is not limitless doors. Do you know what is limitless
无
doors?
量门跟上根弟子有关系，就是学
It has
习
something
这
to
智慧
do
的
with
学生弟子
a
分为
disciple who has
下根、中根、上
a
上
good
根弟子跟无量
a
门有
good
很大的关联。
capability, a good
为啥呢？
like
何以
for
故呢？
disciples there are 3 types. There are like with good
，no，
with good capability or medium or lower. And it has something to do with those
我分享
disciples
一
with
下。
good capacity.
无量
Why?
其实你不能单独看无量门，你要看无量门观察一
Because you
切所
cannot
知境
just look into
一切所
the
知
word
境界就是一
limitless
切
doors.
存
You
在
have to
的
look
事
at
物。
the whole phrase.
这个境界这个词本身很有意思，
This
但我没时间多讲。
word
有
state
兴趣的话可以去琢磨一下什么叫境，什么叫
all knowable
这个是
state.
阿毗达摩
This
的
word
思维。
state is very interesting. It's
一切
some
所知，这个所
special
知
word
也
in
在这里。
Abhidharma.
这个
It's
是
all
今天
knowable
Ben 老师的
state.
那个学派当中很重要的学。
This
不是
knowable
Ben
is
Adam 老师的
something
关于这
from
个英明的所知
from
所知境
logic
对
from Adam's book
观
knowable.
察这个非
So
常重要。观察跟龙
this
树
word
大师的那本
examine
，Project
examine is
智慧或者叫中论， 有很大关系。
is
中论的有
has a
20
lot of things to
我没记
do
错有
with
17
Master Nagarjuna
为什么
Prajna Paramita.
怎么
If
看
I
不
don't
太清
remember wrong, there are 17 chapters. And do you remember how does each chapter of the book Wisdom starts?
哇，大家得摄摩他了吗？
Have all of you entered shamatha?
Yeah 已经说的是对的，检查、
Yes
检视、分析，然后在经
examine
典当中，这个
examine
检
or
查、分析
analyze.
就叫做
And
观，
in ancient text,
观察的
this
观。所以这里的
this
语言当中，
examine
中文当中这个观
and analyze
不是
is
看的
like
意思。
you
现在
observe
人
it,
看到
but
观就
it is
想
not
看，
looking
在
at
这里
it. Now when we
观
see
察。
this word observation
你
one,
看，包括
we
那个内
understand
观
it
的
as
观，
to look at
直
it,
接以为
but
看，
now,
容易理解
but
为看，
actually,
但这里指的是
but
分
actually
析
here
analysis 的意
it
思。
means analysis. You have to
所以这里
analyze
的
it.
观察指的是要去深入的去
So
分析，
here
透
it
彻
means you have to go
究
deep and
得到其真相，
analyze it.
才能称之为观。不
Then
是
you can
一边看一眼就叫
get
观的，
the
或者像
truth,
玄奘塔
not
现
just
场
look at
只
it
是听不想
or
就
not
观。
or not like
有没
coming
有常常
to
有这种
Xuanzang
就
Tower
看着
and
那个
just
屏幕，
try to
你
listen
在
to
看
it.
脑子里
Sometimes
在睡觉，
I come to
这个
class
叫
and my eyes are
观是要
glued on
在
the screen, but
你
my
的意
mind is
识。
somewhere away. So this is
那
not
如为什么要分析一
one
切
examination
事物的
here.
一切
But
法？
why do we need to examine
你要
all
得到真
knowable
相，要
states
见
or
地。
phenomenon?
无量门观一切法的结果就是见地嘛，是看见
Because
真相嘛，见地就等于
when you
得
use
性嘛。
the limitless doors
所
to
以
examine
这里
all
讲的是什么？ 无
knowable
量门是
objects,
什么？我为什么说它跟上跟七的弟子有关系？就是那
you will
些
have an
志
insight.
气很
And
高
the
的圣者，
limitless doors,
特
why
别喜
does
欢
have
去
something
听
to
玄奘
do
谈
with
听各
the
种各样不同
disciples?
的
Because
分
this
析事物
this
的
kind of
探
disciples,
索
they
真相的方式。
specifically like to listen to
你
this
听了一
kind
次
of
别的故事
wisdom,
你是不满足的，然后你
like
听
when
完一
you
时间
after you
你
listen
要
to
去
the pen
中观
story once, you are
去
not
阿
satisfied.
毗
You
达
want
摩
to
怎么
listen to the
讲
Abhidharma
经
version,
比
the mind only
经部
version,
经部怎么讲比，
and the
然后每次老师新
sutras
讲一个空性的论
version.
证，你就会很开心，
So
就哇很酷。
every time when
就
your
是你
teacher
可以留意一下
tells
好
you
的
a
学生
proof
有
on
的
emptiness, you
听到这些
when you
普
listen
通
to
的
it, you
知
feel
道
very cool. So this kind of students
这些经典
is,
的时候，
is
他们会兴
different
奋的跳起
from
来，
different students. The other
你会发
students
现
feel
每个
very
神，
bored,
所以
but
这才
this
是根
kind of
本嘛。
students, whenever
经
they
典
listen
是
to
为你
this
而
kind of
表示。
knowledge, they feel very excited. So
然
that's
后
why they
呢
are nuts.
当你能够无量门观察
So when
一
you
切
can
所
use
知境
your
的时候，
limitless doors
你
to
的正
examine
轨就
all
是宿命
knowable objects,
究竟
then
圆满了。所以
your
当你去学习一切所知境，
you
我
will
们阿毗达
quickly
摩学的
perfect
就是
your
什么？
wisdom. In
就是一切所
Abhidharma,
知境。
what we are
所以
learning
呢
is
12
all
界
knowable
12
objects,
处
five heaps,
18
12
界，就是对一切
12
所知境、一切存在的分类。阿毗达摩本身就
categories,
特别爱这个方法，分而治之。先不跟你讲
12
全部，
and 18
先
doors
把它
of
分得
sense.
清清楚楚、明明白
So
白，
in
很清
Abhidharma
楚、
is
敞敞亮亮的，
first we put
这
them
样
into
对
categories.
没
We
有
put them
怀
into
疑的，
lists
没有疑惑的，然后
so
一个
that
个
we
给
don't have
你
any more
清清楚
doubts.
楚，最后每一个
We
就像打扫
go
房间一
through
样，
them
把
one
所有
by
的
one in all the
这个
categories.
房
It's
间
like
有
when you are
一个
cleaning
屋
your
子有5
room.
个房间，看
If
上去
you
很杂
you
很乱，搞
in
不清
your
楚，没关系，
house there are
一个
5
个来，
rooms.
先
They
打
are
扫
very
色令，
messy, but no
然后
problem. You
送
can
运、享运、行运、
clean it
时运，
room by room.
每一个房
First
间
you
打扫干净了，
clean
整
the
个屋子就打扫干净了，
one
于
room
是
and
就
then
会清
another
清楚
room.
楚。
Afterwards, you will
然
have
后你
cleaned
对
the whole
所
house.
知境的了解如此之善巧通达，再用无量门观察，
And then
再
first
去
you
看它
have
的真相，
mastered the
辨
contents,
别它
then
的
you use
真
your
实面
limitless
目，
doors to examine all knowable
智
objects
慧就会
to
速得圆满。
differentiate whether
这
they
是它的
have
方法，非
emptiness.
常酷的。
Then your
这其实也
you
是
will
能够大
perfect
体
your
体会
wisdom
他在他的大智度论里
speedily.
面，我很喜欢的
It
一句
is
话，
also
他的提倡的一种学习方式叫
appears in
先
the
分
wisdom
别
of
诸法，
Master
后考究
Nagarjuna.
竟会。其实这个玄
Something
奘
he
大师
mentioned
的
is
法相为识中也是一样的。 玄奘大师的这个唯识的学派特别讲究学法相，
The
学一
the
切
mind
事物
only
就是学
school
阿毗达摩，
of Xuanzang
然后再来入唯识
is
义，再来进
say
唯识
that
的
you
深义。
first learn
先把法
Abhidharma,
相学明
then
白。
you go
别
into
人跟你讲
mind
运，
only.
运你知道色运受运都不知道的话，怎么去看它的空性？
If you cannot really
他不知道
understand
它
the
的
heaps, how can you
它的
understand
你连
their
它的自
emptiness?
性是什么，你怎么空掉它？
If you
那怎么你不知道？
cannot
连
understand
它
their
的
nature,
空
how
它的
can
作用，
you
它的表象，它的
understand the
表现方
emptiness?
式，
If you
它
don't
的
understand their
运
appearance,
作
their
机理，
functions,
不
their
清楚的话，你怎么空它？
mechanism of
那个就
operation,
真的是
how can you understand the
杂杂是一
emptiness?
场空的空，你都不知道它是什么，不是什么，你怎么去把它空掉？所以这
If
里
you
的无
don't
量
know
门
what
观察
it
讲的
is,
就是
how
这两
can
个
you
东西，
get to their
先
emptiness?
分
So
为
here,
诸法，
this the limitless doors
后
here
得究
means
竟会，大概是这
you
样，
have to
就是
first
先
understand the
对所有的
categories
一切
of
的
all
事物
knowable
做
objects,
得
then
了了分明，
your
然
wisdom
后你就
can
能够
be perfect
进入到它的
speedily.
空性
Meaning
当中。
you really first need to know the categories,
还有
understand
一
it
个
one by one,
第
then
三
you
个
can
利益，
get to wisdom easily.
第三个利益就是叫论义抉
The
择。
third benefit
什么意思呢？
is
诸思则处，善通达故。你看，都是要先通达的哈。这个利益不是一下能得到的，不是听一次玄奘塔就
first
能得到的，是
you
要持续的来听。
already first you
就
master
先会
it,
通，
which
然后
cannot be achieved
才
by
能得。
listening to the class once.
我知道
So
那
you
个我
first
们的
need
陶
to
瓷
listen
咖啡主持
and
人做
learn
了一件
and
很
you
酷的
master
事情，
it.
我到现在都很佩服他，我也自己没这么做，但是我就佩服，先
I
佩服
know
他。
there's
他现
like
在每次听玄
the
奘塔就
owner
去
of
看
our
那些我之前的
the
课
manager
程
of our
给
Peach Street Cafe has done something
然
very
后
cool.
再理好笔记。所以每次你发现一到问答的
Every
时候，他
time
就抢答的
when
特
you
别快。
reach
我
the
我注意到他了，有一段时
Q&A
间，我说
of
你为什么 每次都
Xuanzang
记得那么
Tower,
清楚呢？你有什么
what
秘密？
I'm saying is Juan, he always
哦 ，Stanley
is the first person to answer
我就
questions.
看
And
了
I
看
asked him, how did he
他是
do
怎么
it?
样做准
He
备的，
said, oh,
这
Stanley,
里
let me
这里
tell
很
you.
精进，
And
对，
he always
这样
makes a
学
lot
你就
of
能得通达
notes
了。
and
每
learn
次来
very
随便听一个
diligently.
每个不用
So
记，
using
每
this
次你
way
加功
to
夫。
learn, you will
这个通
master
达
the content.
要得通
So
达是
meaning you have to put
要
in hard work
要
yourself.
50-50都要做好的。50-50的意思就是老
And
师
you
一定
have
得
to
有好的老师给你
always
讲，
first
但
you
也
have
得
to
有
have
好
a
的
good
学生
teacher
自己
to
来
teach it to you. Then you have to have
少
good
任何一
students
半
to
都不行。
really put in effort to learn it.
所以你只是来听，
So just coming
50%已
to
经完成了，恭喜你，因为我
listen,
们
you
幸好有非
already
常好的老师，
accomplish
非常
half
好的
of
老师，
it because we are very lucky we have an
咱
extraordinary
自
good
己
teacher to
修学
teach
做
us
它，
this. But
那
for the other half,
就
whether
看
we learn it
你是什么样的学者了。
with effort,
我知道
it depends on what kind of
世界
learner
各
or
地的
scholar
故
are
事
you.
我就不讲了。那当年
I
他的丈夫跟
know
我说这
that
个主题，突然间
Gibson has a
有一
lot
次
of
他就
his
说
own
哎，好
stories
像
that
不是
I
我
will
说
not
我被吓
share.
惨了。
He had the same level of
怎么回事？你
Sanskrit
为什
as
么能够
me.
讲的那么
But
多？
after 1 year
老
when
师
he
讲都
could
是一样的内容，为
speak
什么一个
fluently,
人
I
学它
was
的效果不一样？
stunned. I
真的
was
是每
thinking
家
why
功夫不一样。
why the Geshe is
真
teaching
的
the same contents, but
在
everyone has a
在
different
我跟
result
他
in
的
learning. It is all
生
about
活细胞里
efforts
面
you
的
put
进
in
度上就充分的
of
说明这一
individual
点。
traits.
你要想要得善巧，
And
首先只
from
能靠
how
靠
he
老师，
advanced
另外
in
一半靠
Tibetan
自己的，很重要的。如果
can
得
tell.
善巧了，最
So
后一个利益
if you
我
want
知
to
道
become a master, half is
就
by the
可以
teacher,
显
but
化
half
你
is
的
by
自己。
yourself. So this last benefit is
于诸
saying
议论得无
if
所谓，
you
那这里
master
就
the
非常
content,
酷了。
you
第一，
can
问答
answer
自在这个
questions
词本身就是
comfortably.
很酷的一件事情。我自己比较喜欢看那些
This is very
不知道为什
cool.
么，我不喜欢从政哈，我不喜欢参与政治，
Personally,
但我特别喜欢看那些政治人物
I
开这个
don't like
新闻
politics,
发
but
布会，
I
尤其是很厉害的政治人物，
really enjoy the
他们
press
是可以
conferences
随时
press
对任何
conferences
国家
of
任何记者
really
问题
strong
做出
political leaders
回答的，
because
无所畏
they
惧，
can
问答自己，
reply to
这个
questions
能说。
of
然后学
anyone
会
on
的
stage
是成为 leader
comfortably
很重
and
要的一件事
easily.
情，
They
你要
they
带领
have
人
no
的
fear.
话，
So
你
this
要
is
控
one
制人，
important
要影响
quality
人
to
的话，
be a leader. If you want to
那
lead
只有
someone
受
and
贿到是不行
influence
的，
someone,
内心没有道德，没有智慧也不行，
you have
要两
to
者都
have
兼
this
顾，
ability.
有摄摩
But
他，有
only
智慧
having
智慧
this,
才有
and you
智慧
have to have
加上这个
shamatha
无
and vipassana.
然后语诸议
Thus,
论得无
this
所谓。这里这个议论这
ability
个
of
词
able
其
to
实有
answer
很多
questions
讲究
easily. And
议论不是讨论的意思，是对你有不同的观点，对你发出质疑的
this
时候，
word 议论
你怎么能够
is
降服它，不是靠大声
opposing
吼它。
opposing arguments. So when you face opposing arguments, how do you deal with it? How do you handle it? So you really need to become a very good debater who can answer questions comfortably and easily. And you will find that those who can raise opposing arguments they are really intelligent. They can because they have given in thoughts, but just that they have not given into the right thoughts, but they have a very good basic talent and they can become a very good student, especially in Mahayana Abhidharma. Mahayana meaning you not only want to benefit yourself, but you want to benefit other people as well.
所以学习这个大乘阿毗达摩不是只是为自己学的。
So when we learn Mahayana Abhidharma, we are not learning it for ourselves. We are learning it for other people. For those in the future, for those people who will raise opposing questions to you in the future. So when you see this sentence here, you can readjust your motivation and thinking to yourself, now I am working hard, I'm suffering or working hard on this learning. Because for those who are really learning, they are really putting in a lot of relentless effort. This is not easy. So when we are doing this hard work now, we can readjust our motivation, meaning in the future, when we come to Xuanzang class, we ask ourselves why. How do I want to listen to the class? Why and what do I want to do? Why do I come here and listen? And now, for me, I will always think of this sentence. It is for those people that I will meet in the future. They are afflicted. They don't have a clear mind. I will meet a lot of these people who are facing a lot of problems. They are searching for something, they want something. And when that day comes, that may be just this afternoon. And when that time comes, when that moment comes, whether I am able to help them. Am I already able to answer to their uncertainty or query or opposing arguments easily? Or he's already very confused, but after my explanation, he become more confused. One time I think one of my high school classmates is very clever and that time after the meal we had together, I wasn't successful in convincing him to believe in the pen story because I didn't give answers well. So 2 years after that time, he didn't want to listen to me about the pen anymore because I didn't explain clearly. So if you want to help other people, first you have to really be mastering your objects of contemplation, then you will have to be able to answer those questions. Therefore, if you want to get into Mahayana Abhidharma, because for the Hinayana Abhidharma, you focus more on yourself, but for Mahayana Abhidharma, you have to take into consideration all the beings in the whole universe. You have to also think about when other people face problems, are you able to help them? Then this can become a very good motivation for you. So personally, for myself, I think that when someone needs it, when they face troubles, when I can stand out and give them some hope, give them some information or guidance, then getting up so early today to learn is something meaningful, something worthwhile.
但是这里的问答自在有可能剑走偏锋，变成那种
Here,
讨人厌的。
this being able to answer to questions easily can become someone very annoying. It's like you try to become an encyclopedia, and when someone asks you something, you say, this I knew. This means such and such and such. And in Abhidharma, there's a concept. If someone hasn't asked you a question, you don't answer. You don't need to. This is why I like the content of Adam's book that we will discuss later. In his book, there's a concept of good logic, good phenomena is to take into consideration first what the other person can accept. If you want to convince the other person to go to a higher state, which means then you have to suggest to them a new argument, but only the argument that the other person can accept. If you try to think about this, it means whether the other person can accept your argument, there are lots of causes behind it. First is their mood, whether they are open-minded to you. Secondly is they realize they have the needs, they want the direction, they want help. And thirdly, you have to be able to verbalize it clearly. And the fourth is the person can understand it clearly. I have a very strong feeling after so many years of teaching. Being a teacher is not a title you call yourself. It's given by your students. So everything is about the other person. The debates in logic is all on this. Whether the other person can understand you depends on you, whether you have the connection with the other person, whether you have a good relationship with them. Otherwise, even if you spend a lot of time in blah, 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 saying a lot of things, it is a waste of time. Then rather you do your contemplation yourself instead of forcing the other person to listen to you. And the worst is you express this very holy, very sacred, the highest knowledge in a way that annoys other people. The first half of the part, the first half is already not easy, but
它背后是很多，我觉得是真的很多讲究的。这句话其实分量是很重的。
What this sentence means. Personally, I think this sentence has a lot of weight and it's very beautiful.
进入 Adam 老师的课。
And later we will go into Adam's class and do a lot of mind work. So this sentence is a good preparation for ourselves. So first we have to contemplate, and later when we need to spend this effort to contemplate, we will ask ourselves why. So that in the future, when this moment comes, when you can give another person a gift of a rose, then you have the ability to do it. Then you can be able to answer questions easily. And also you have no fear. This fearless is very important for those who want to become a teacher of wisdom. I believe all of us here has the seed to become a teacher, just the timing. And when you come to this point to teach others, you will find that being fearless is very important. If you feel fear, it is all about yourself. If you feel fearless, it's about other people. Or you can say, when you only think about other people, then you become fearless. So this is the beauty of Mahayana Abhidharma. And in the last minute, we will start with 5 heaps. Because Geshe hasn't started talking about the 5 heaps, so I will not talk a lot about it. But so when you listen to these 5 heaps, you will listen them from Geshe. Just listening to Geshe for 1 minute is much better than listening to me for hundreds of years. But what I was talking about is what Geshe has already talked about. I just gave you a review. And in the future, of course, we don't know how Geshe will teach it, but according to the text, I think Geshe will start to talk about 5 heaps: the forms, sensations, perceptions, mental activity, and consciousness. If you want to know what will come, please come back to Xuanzang Tower. Okay. So time is up for me.
我们的桃树先生出来了吗？
May I ask if Mr. Peach Tree is ready?
Mr. Peach Tree.
Mr. Peach Tree, are you ready?
Hello, Stanley.
Hi, Juan.
How are you?
很好, very good.
Very good to hear. Are you coming to Mexico?
I don't know. Do you have churro there?
We will, for sure.
Okay. That's a good
Think about it.
Okay.
Let us know. Thank you so much. Just to extend my congratulations, I think it's wonderful what you just did. You had a whole session and class in Chinese language. Of course, I had the chance to play it in English, but I don't know, I just feel it was so interesting to hear the original audio and maybe some seeds sink into my mind. So thank you so much. I will present to you, now that there is a lot of people also here, a little bit of what we have been doing lately for this project, actually, to support the mixed notes classes. As you may have heard lately, we have this thing called the Good Night Book Club, where in the countries that it's allowed, you need to check if your country is allowed, but it's important to mention, you can sign up for $30 a month, and then you start getting books on constant basis. For $30 a month, you get 2 books a year, right? Some of the books that the mixed notes translators or Geshe Michael himself have translated, and you are getting them. The idea of this also is to, at night, spend some time not with the devices and technology that can be very seductive. I know myself. But instead to go and try to, before going to bed, read some wisdom, knowledge content, and go to sleep with this state of mind, right? But not only that, now we have a new initiative. It's very cool. And it's about, like, if you want to get some of the updates that Geshe Michael is translating, he's doing a text on Jetson Kappa, Illumination of the True Thought. And every day he shares with people a little fragment and pieces of what he has been translating. I want to show you an example of how it is. Yes, this was one of the emails he sent last week. And as you can see, first he gives a brief description of what's going on, and maybe also shares some news that are happening either in the area or in any of the worldview organizations. And then he shares some content of the actual book, along with sometimes videos or pictures. Let's go a little closer. With the next picture, you can see deeper what are we talking about. For example, last week, he told us that he's making a new project on building a retreat cabin very nearby his house, where in the future he specs and he hopes maybe some of the students can do silent retreat. And I think that'll be very cool. Of course, in order to build that, water is very important. So we want to share with you a short video of something that happened a few days ago, and you can get an idea of what's going on with the retreat cabin in process. So there you go. And these and many more news like these are shared on daily basis on some of Geshe-la's emails. I mean, almost daily there's things going on, because he's also, as I say, sharing content of his book, his translation, and content on news. So I would like to show you one more time this QR code. If you are interested, you can join. So there are two QR codes on screen. One, the big one, is to join the daily emails. Also, you have to check if this is allowed in your country, only in countries that it's allowed. And the small QR code is for people who would like to subscribe for first time to the Good Night Reading Club. I was hoping to really quick show you how to sign up for the first time Good Night Book Club. Let me show you super quickly. I'm gonna share my screen, how to do it. So you just follow the QR code link there, and then choose the region where you are: US, Canada, Latin America, Europe, Central Asia, Vietnam, Asia, right? Okay, so for me right now, I'm in US, Canada, but let's just, for purpose of showing, Latin America. You click there, and then you're gonna have to choose the option, very important, here, choose recurring, and then you sign up for $30, and then automatically you'll be part of the Good Night Reading Club. You can also just donate one time if you want. Whatever you can is super appreciated. But for this, you need, for the Good Night Book Club, it needs to be recurring. It's a month. And then you just set a frequency, recurring month. You choose whenever it is for you, and then submit. And that's going to take you through success, and you're going to help us a lot as well. Okay, thank you very much for letting me show you this. Also, just to mention a last picture also, and not last one, but next picture, just to show you there is an option to get the valises you may have heard about as well. Yeah, if you want to get the valise to put your electronic devices at night, it's a very nice initiative run by GMR Luxury. You can follow the QR code, and it's like a very nice present, a very nice dynamic that you can get. Just follow the QR code and you can get access to this valise. Okay, And for our next section, I would like to invite a very good friend who is here to share with us some other exciting news. Let us welcome Chloe. I say Chloe, but I think in English it's Chloe, something like that. How are you, Chloe?
Juan. I'm doing great. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Good to see you. Welcome. So tell us what's going on.
Well, I think I heard very good news from our Asian friends. Sugan, are you here?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I cannot speak too loudly because they are doing event. So while moving on to them, I'm reporting live from Indonesia, Borobudur, and they are doing events. So let me show you the temple first. It's beautiful. So this is the whole temple. You can see it's a very, very huge, right? All these stupas. We
Oh
are near
my
the top.
God.
We are near the top. This is the biggest one, which represent the emptiness. And then all these small stupas are the formless.
Wow.
And then you can see the people doing meditation.
Oh,
Left
they are
side,
meditating.
Professor JB and Professor Connie. Here.
That's incredible. So powerful. So by the way, guys, this is YSI and Raw Diamond collaboration and to support ALL as well. So this is a beautiful event going on in Indonesia.
Show you the other side. This is a very vast mountain range at the background. I don't
Thank
think you
you.
can hear what they're talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the short one. Yeah, I think Chloe, you can fill them up with what we are doing here.
Okay.
I give you all the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Sugian. Thank you for sending us the in-person report. So Sugian just shared with me some photos I'm gonna share with everybody here. So this is, as you see earlier, this is what's happening at this moment. Let's see. Oh, and then there are more photos. Students from China with raw diamond. And the organizers. And Jasmine Yao, Connie, Yuki. So this is the whole group. So thank you so much. Oh, by the way, this is from Daily Geshe update today. So, okay. So I guess this is what's going on in our YSI event. So I just want to share this one to encourage people to help with our translation program. And you can make a one-time donation if you want, or a monthly donation, not the subscription, just if you want to plant some seeds. So let's see what else is going on. Gina, would you like to cue the YSI video? So the friends from, they have a message for all of us. So let's hear what they say. You can start. Thanks. Oh, we need to have the audio. Yes, so to answer Ela, this is a,
and we were,
okay.
Hey Peachtree, it's YSI and Raw Diamonds in Indonesia. Hey, and we are learning about creating abundance by sharing. And we were wondering if you could share some of your cinnamon rolls with us. So we have a message. Ready? Whoa, I need Peachtree. Geshe Michael. Yeah!
Thank you, Gina. So this is our friend sent it in from yesterday. So they said in Chinese, I love you, peace tree, and thank you, Geshe. So this is our event, and last year they did in Nepal, and my mom actually went for the first time. And this year they are doing this in Indonesia. I hope more friends can join and to collaborate and experience these ancient teaching in the sacred sites. So thank you so much. And let's see the last poster for the Mexican event. So for the other people in the rest of the world, you have still a chance to go to Mexico for the next angel and devil debate. This will be a new venue and Geshe will be there teaching. So if you're interested either online or in person, please sign up on this QR code. So thank you very much. And let's hand it back to Adam. Let's enjoy more wisdom in the ancient times today. Thank you.
Hello.